As India approaches the 75-year milestone, an ugly and needless political battle has erupted over our tricolor. I'm Barkha Dutt, you're with the Mojo story. Our focus this evening on our broadcast is on the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign of the Modi government. The Prime Minister has urged every home in India to embrace the flag as we approach our 75th birth anniversary. Now, the Prime Minister is also talking about changing our DPs, our display pictures, to that of the flag. What could possibly be argumentative in this proposal? Don't we all love our flag? Well, the opposition parties are turning around and saying that the BJP is co opting the icons of independence and turning them political. An anthem that was amplified on several official platforms, the Congress argued, notably missed the first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru. To be fair, the anthem actually had a series of public figures from non political walks of life, ending with images of the Prime Minister. So, why is the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign something that we should all be able to agree on, the subject of this political battle? How has history once again become the battlefield for contemporary politics? That is our focus on the program today. And let's introduce our distinguished panel this evening. Joining us on the program is Manimugdha Sharma, who's a historian based out of Canada. Thank you, Mani, and welcome to the program. Also joining us, it's a pleasure to see General Dhruv Katoch, who's, of course, with the India Foundation and a military veteran. Welcome to the program, sir. And also joining us is Tushar Gandhi, who, as his famous second name betrays, is of course from the lineage of Mahatma Gandhi, but is also a social activist and a commentator. Rahul Easwar, commentator activist, will be with us shortly as well. Let me start with you, General Katoch. The soldier, as we know, fights for a few things. His nation, of course, his Paltan, but fights for the honor of the flag. That is what it's all about in the end. This Har Ghar Tiranga campaign should have been the one thing that we could all come together on as a nation. What do you think that has happened? How has it become so politicized?
Thank you, Barkha. Barkha, I have found that, firstly, as a soldier, you are very right. The flag is symbolic. It is something which we embrace. It is something which people actually, people may not believe it, but you actually die for the flag. If the flag falls down, you will find people, they will just go. They're prepared to risk their life, to give up their life to retrieve it. It is symbolic. It has a great deal of meaning in it, for all the soldiers, for all of us who have worn the uniform. And I think it is true for most of the countrymen too. It is not simply restricted to the uniform. Unfortunately, in the country, you see, if one particular political party starts something, I think there is that feeling that, okay, because we are in the opposition, we have to oppose. No, I think everything needn't be opposed. There are so many issues in this country where you can have opposition, but every issue need not be opposed, right? And for some reason, we start opposing even things like the national symbol. We start opposing what the forces are doing. We start opposing television serials and shows. And you just, the list is endless. Now, opposition simply for the sake of opposition, to me, doesn't make sense. If somebody has got a real feeling about it, because I heard some people say, why should we celebrate it on one day? Why not on every day? Well, the counter to that is, you celebrate your birthday on one day. Yeah. Celebrate it on every day. You celebrate your parents, you celebrate the anniversaries. We celebrate so many things. It isn't that you do it every day. It is simply a constant reminder, okay, some things are special to us. They matter to us. Let us celebrate it. Now, this is 75 years. It's a great occasion. It's an occasion to celebrate. So many countries down the line, since independence, they haven't done as well as India has done. The credit goes to everybody, we started off with the independence movement. There are a host of great men and women who have brought us here. I don't think any symbol can be misappropriated. I personally feel it is wrong to think of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru as a Congress icon. He is an Indian icon, a national icon. Why do you want to segregate such people into small little groups that, okay, this chap belongs to the Congress and this chap belongs to the BJP? They belong to the nation, especially once they have passed away. They have done great service to the nation. I think those small little affiliations go. They are no more Congress. I will not look at Nehru as a congressman. I will look at him as a great Indian. And I think we should all start looking at our icons in that manner, whether it
I
is a Vajpayee or Nehru. Barkha.
I think that's a great point, because after all they have all held constitutional posts, and once they hold that constitutional post, they have all been prime ministers of our nation, and to that extent they're not one party or the other party's prime minister. They are the nation's leaders. General Katoch, let me ask you briefly before I go to Tushar Gandhi. When you see the opposition leaders saying the BJP is trying to own patriotism, the BJP is trying to own the flag is everybody's, just like Nehru is everybody's, and Prime Minister Modi is also everybody's prime minister. But you've seen, the Congress, for example, changing its DP very particularly to Nehru holding the flag. You would say what?
I'm very happy that Nehru is holding the flag. He's held the flag. Just to get into some historical context, though I'm not a historian, and we've got two very eminent historians here. But Nehru wore that red rose on his lapel. Let us say today I wear the red rose. Do I say that I have misappropriated something from Nehru? So it doesn't really work that way. These symbols belong to everybody. The flag is as much to the Congress as it is to me, as it is to you, as it is to the BJP. I don't think the flag and the nation should be politicized. That is my view. I think we should all celebrate. It's a great day to get together to celebrate and to set all our differences at rest. Imagine the United States does it every time. The way they fight is far worse than India. But on these issues, you will find the Democrats and the Republicans, they're all on it together. Barkha.
I think, yes, I think that last point is a very important point, and I want to take that to Tushar Gandhi. Do you sometimes think, Tushar, that the critics of the Modi government pick the wrong battles? I mean, what is the problem with the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign? If anything, our flag code has been too stodgy, too formal. The flag should be a kind of organic part of all of our lives. These changes are good changes. What is exactly the problem here? If there is a problem, and do unmute yourself before you respond.
Barkha, I feel insulted by my Prime Minister. I feel very insulted by my Prime Minister because in the 62 years of my life, not even my parents have ever had to tell me to be patriotic or put up the flag on Independence Day or Republic Day. I have done it because I'm an Indian. How dare somebody come and tell me you need to put up the flag
But
on
it's
your
not a
house
rule. I'm
because
sorry I'm
it is.
interrupting you, but it's not a rule.
Don't.
It's not a
Please
rule.
don't
It's just
interrupt.
no,
Please
I'm
don't
not. I'm
interrupt me.
sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just
Let me
asking a
finish. Let me
clarification.
finish what I'm saying. Let me
Sure,
finish what I'm
sure,
saying.
sure.
I feel insulted because somebody is reminding me to be patriotic and love my flag. I have always loved my flag. Why does a Prime Minister, General Katoch, gave a beautiful example of the United States? How many times have you heard the President of the United States going on television and telling American citizens that, the Independence Day is coming up, you better put up a flag in your house? Why do we need a Prime Minister to remind us that? We as Indians do it organically, we do it every day. Why do we need to be told? And why does the Prime Minister have to make it into it? Are Indians that unpatriotic? Maybe I don't go into the political thing because I don't care about politics and what they do in politics. But why insult my natural patriotism like this by saying, hey, Independence Day is coming up, put up a flag? I have always had a flag in my house. I've always had a flag on the desk of my office. I've always had a flag on my dashboard. I've always worn a flag on my shirt. Nobody came and told me that.
But can I ask you a question now? My question is
Sure,
this:
go ahead.
I would understand your irritation if, for example, there was an executive order that actually said everybody's DPs have to change to the flag on so and so day between so and so hours, stand in attention, put the flag at so and so height, put it on your. There's no mandate. There's nothing. There's no rule book. It's an ask from the prime minister. You're free to say no. Why do you feel that you're being ordered or instructed, Tushar?
I am being instructed. I am being instructed. The Prime Minister is telling me to put up a flag in front on top of my house as if I didn't know that I had to do it, and that offends me.
Hmm.
I don't need a law. If there was a law, I would have fought it. But I don't even need to be told to be patriotic. I am patriotic. I'm an Indian.
Yeah. So we are seeing a kind of politics over patriotism, which General Katoch, as he reminded us, the soldier dies for the honor associated with this flag. Our forefathers and our ancestors died for the right of this country to hoist this flag. Let us remember what it means. How many lives have actually been lost and fought over this flag. Uh, Rahul, the argument on the other side you heard from Tushar, that there is a kind of regimentation now to patriotism, which he is suggesting is political. And he's saying, no, India needs to be told. Indians love the flag, Indians love their country. What is the need to tell us to do this? You would say what?
No, I would quote um, uh, Joseph Toynbee, who said, civilizations die from suicide, not by murder. And sometimes the ideologies also commit suicide, they don't die by murder. In a nation where people are patriotic beyond left and right, it is suicidal for any liberal spectrum or left liberals or Congress to say they are not going to raise the flag. And the irony of irony is Modi ji is telling everyone to raise this flag, which was originally the Congress flag. And back in April 13, 1921, Mahatma Gandhi himself said the saffron represented, or it was ochre then, it represented Hindus, white was for Christians, Parsis and minorities, green was for Muslims. So this is a flag of pluralism. It was the Nehruvians who later changed the interpretation, saying that there is no community connotation. So what is the best solution to communalism? Indian flag is the best solution to communalism, because if you hate green, if you are Islamophobic, you can never truly love Indian flag. If you hate Hindus, or if you hate saffron, or if you are in Hindu phobia, you can never be Indian enough. So being a centrist prime minister, or at least trying to be a centrist prime minister, when Modi ji is telling everyone to raise tricolor, which is a consensus too. And one interesting thing I would like to note, one of the reasons Nathuram Godse stated, many people say, was that he was angry with Mahatma Gandhi for changing the saffron flag design, which was initially the ideated in 1931 Karachi AICC meet, and Gandhiji was opposed to it, and Gandhiji wanted a tricolor flag. I am a right winger, I like Modi ji, but ultra right wingers of that time were opposed to a tricolor flag. They used to call it communal. They only wanted a saffron flag. So it is a great consensus that we arrived at a Tiranga, a tricolor, which represents, reconciliates all faith, according to Father of the Nation Mahatma Gandhi, and even they are refusing to do it. See, if you are having any issue with Modi ji, please take it out directly on him. If you are having issue with right wing, you take it out on them. But why take it out on the flag?
Yeah, okay, let me bring in money. And Tushar, I'm sure you wanted to come in on all the Mahatma Gandhi references, but let me just bring in money. I actually want to cite an example from the West, which I recently wrote about. Jon Stewart, who used to host the Daily Show, is a filmmaker, a satirist. He recently campaigned for America's military veterans, those who had been opposed to toxins. General Katoch, this will interest you as well, in the war zones of Iraq and so on. And he fought very hard. He's a liberal otherwise, but he marched along with the veterans, he got into fights with the senators, and he fought with them till that the legislation was actually changed and America's veterans were given protection. This happened just a few days ago against this exposure to war zone toxins. Now, the reason I bring this example up is I actually see merit in what Rahul has just said, that liberals are picking the wrong fight here. The wrong fight because the flag is not the BJP's flag or the Congress's flag or anybody else's flag. The flag is my flag and your flag and everybody's flag. And therefore, a campaign that seeks to amplify or popularize the flag, why is that being called a co-option by politics?
Yeah, Barkha, it's actually quite interesting the way the debate is going in India over this flag issue. Now, it is as if India wants to forge ahead by looking backwards. Um, uh, I think the opposition has come to this because, firstly, a lot of people are saying that you have reduced the flag to just an event. And you are not really talking about the symbolism of the flag or the evolution of the national flag. And of course, they are also talking about a certain kind of hypocrisy which is coming out, because now you have the RSS and all its cadres who are actually who have been deployed to ensure that, or at least spread the message that the Prime Minister has given, that every home needs to unfurl the Tiranga, Har Ghar Tiranga. when for over 50 years, it didn't really hoist the flag at its own headquarters. So I think that this is what people are actually commenting on, those who are a little upset with the idea that the Prime Minister is talking about unfurling the flag. But, it is actually, if you look at the history of the evolution of the flag, and Mr. Easwar was also talking about Gandhi, um, writing extensively about what these flag colors stand for. He actually used red for Hindus and green for Muslims. And initially, there was no white band of that first flag. And later on, that white band was added to represent all the other faiths. But then immediately after that, he realized that it was not satisfying everyone. So even at that time, this idea was vigorously debated because the Sikhs thought that they were not being represented in these three color bands. So Gandhi had to eventually move away from this communal symbolism, which he thought came through from the flag that he had designed, or Pingali Venkaiah had designed, and he had adopted. The Congress in 1931 adopted a different flag, which had saffron on the top. So Gandhi's flag had red at the bottom because he thought that, well, it is the largest majority in India, and it is supposed to protect the interests of the minorities. Therefore, Muslims who were represented by green, that color came on top of red, and then white, which was, again, the other minorities, Christians and other faiths, they came on top. So it was, his approach was quite clear. In 1931, it was reversed. So it was saffron on top and then green at the bottom and white in the middle. So the symbolism of the flag has also evolved. So it has meant different things to different people at different points of time. We are, for instance, not talking about why we have a tricolor, why not any other form of the flag, for instance, a single color, because this was the idea that the bourgeois democratic revolutions in Europe had given, which is why you had tricolor flags in so many different countries. So we were not functioning in isolation. We were pretty much glued into the global events, and we got these ideas. And at various points of time, the flag represented a kind of nationalism, but was also internationalist, because Nehru, and why Nehru is important here, and everyone is talking about, at least the Congress Party is talking about Nehru, it is essentially Nehru's idea, because he was an interventionist. He had to do a lot of firefighting for the Congress, even in 1929, even in 31, and later on in 46, 47, when the Congress's flag was adopted and the charkha was taken away and the wheel, the Ashoka Chakra came in. It was actually Nehru's idea that happened. And Gandhi was not very happy with it, by the way. So he again took the conversation back to an internationalist moment. So he's telling you that, well, look, we have achieved freedom. So this is a successful completion of the freedom struggle, but this is not the end. We are going to go on. And this flag is going to represent everyone who is fighting colonialism. So you are not reducing your identity to just being Indians. You're also giving an example to the global community.
I mean, I get that, but the very fact that you've shared with our audience this fascinating history and how Gandhi and Nehru viewed the flag differently actually points to exactly the point that things are dynamic, and how you look at the same symbol actually changes with context and time and international politics and domestic politics. But that was really interesting. Mani, do you want to just wrap up before I come to Tushar and General Katoch? So the present controversy, if you were to join the dots between that and this, you would say what, briefly?
Well, I think the present controversy, as I said, it's primarily because it's being thrust upon you, and well, there has been a commodification of the nation, and this has started since the late 80s, and after 99, after 2001, again we saw this the flag waving version of nationalism, which became very popular in India. And if you remember when I was growing up, and you were also growing up, you would remember that we were only allowed to raise the national flag on 3 days. Now
Well,
everyone
Naveen Jindal went to court, to be fair to him,
absolutely.
and he fought for this. By the way, he was with the Congress Party, when all of this was happening. So while the flag waving nationalism is associated today with the right wing led by the BJP and the RSS, this campaign, Tushar, before I come to General Katoch, was actually spearheaded by then a Congress member of Parliament. I think he was an MP then when Naveen first started this battle for everyone to be able to fly the flag at will. Tushar, what's the problem? Is the problem flag waving nationalism? Is it that Nehru has been left out in the commemorations? And how has he been left out? There's an anthem, and the anthem ends with the present prime minister. If the present prime minister were Manmohan Singh, the anthem would end, I would imagine, with Dr. Manmohan Singh. So tell me your angst. Even money says it's being thrust upon us. How? Your DP hasn't changed, I imagine. Someone else's DP is Nehru. Everybody's doing what they want to.
Yeah, but because I don't change my DP, people will start branding me as not being patriotic, and I'll be told to go to Pakistan and live there. So, Barkha, please don't oversimplify these things, because the attitude behind all this is to identify with the right, and I'm not saying right wing, but the right spectrum. Otherwise, you're going to be left out. Now, I'm never going to change my DP. Why should I change my DP? I don't change my DP for the 30th of January and put up the photograph of Bapu, because the flag, Bapu, patriotic zeal, everything is my character. Why do I have to advertise all that? And I never wear my patriotism on my sleeve. So why should I be told to do that? And if I don't do that, why should the majority have the opportunity to consider me not being patriotic? Because I'm sure I'm going to be asked the question that, Gandhi's great grandson hasn't changed his DP. And just going back to the history, they took out the charkha of Bapu from the flag, and the present Prime Minister has taken out the khadi from the flag. And to me, that's a greater sin than not flying the flag, because khadi to me is the soul of our freedom movement. If we are just talking about the freedom, and the flag symbolized the sacrifices made in the idea of khadi. And now 75 years down the line, we're going to have polyester flags. That's a piece of cloth. I'm not even going to respect that.
Okay, let me bring in General Katoch. I think there is some sort of merit, General Katoch, to the point that today we are too quick to brand anyone who disagrees with our idea of nationalism as somehow less of a patriot. And there should be really nobody who is dishing out these certificates of who is ferociously Indian, because we're all ferociously Indian and proud Indians. And as citizens, we all have maybe our own compact with the state. And I think that the point being made both by Mani and Tushar is that, okay, this is an idea that some people might love, some people might not, and don't call them anti-national if they have misgivings about it. And that patriotism doesn't have to be regimented, defined, or screamed from the rooftops. What would you say, sir?
Barkha, it is not something new which is happening. You see, right from independence, there were parties, if you didn't follow the leftist ideology, people branded you. That time we didn't have the social media, it didn't get out, right? This branding has been going on since centuries. It is not a new phenomenon. It has really taken on a new dimension because of the advent of social media. And as far as Mr. Gandhi is concerned, you see, there is always a drawback to being a celebrity. Today, if I was a celebrity, I'm a nobody, so nothing will happen to me, whether I put on that flag or not on my DP. But Mr. Gandhi is a celebrity. There'll be a whole lot of people who will appreciate what he does, and there will be a whole lot of people who will not appreciate what he does. I mean, that is the part of the game. When you look at Mr. Modi, who is the Prime Minister of this country, my God, the amount of abuses he gets every day is phenomenal. That is the price you have to pay to be on top. I'm not on the top. I'm not paying that price.
No,
Mr. Gandhi.
First, I have to say that you can't say you're a nobody. You're a military veteran. You have served the nation.
People are very soft on me. People are very soft on me. Okay. But I just want to make one point. You see, this time I got a message from the army. This was from, I have to mention this, from Northern Command. They had sent it out. They said, listen, we are trying to get people to, a lot of people in the valley are making flags. Please buy from them. So I have ordered 2 flags, 6x9, made of khadi, which will be delivered to me on payment, right? My mate comes and tells me, and she's an illiterate, she's class 4 pass. And she tells me, just about 4 or 5 days back, because of all this publicity, he says, साहब हम भी अपने घर में झंडा लगा सकते हैं. मैं कहा बेटे आप भी इसको लगा सकते हो और पूरी दुनिया लगा सकती है, सब भारतवासी लगा सकते हैं. जो भी लगाना चाहे लगा सकते हैं. You see, there is a difference between the intellectual lot, and I totally agree with Mr. Gandhi's point. You see, nobody needs to tell him. But then
Yeah.
there is another segment of society who's so scared, who don't know. Ki if I put this on, will somebody come and do something and tell me don't do it? And now she has owned the flag. It's a
Yeah.
very important point for
I
the
think a
poorest
lot
of
of people,
India's poor. They have owned
yes.
the flag. It is my flag now. It is her flag. She is my equal in all respects. She will fly it on her house. I will fly it in mine. That is the
Yeah,
way I look at it.
and I think a lot of people actually still don't know, because we've had this very, very needlessly regimented flag code that, as I said, Mr. Jindal fought hard to change. Tushar, I know you've got a hand up. I'm just going to bring in Rahul and then come to you. Rahul, go ahead. Yeah, Rahul.
I'll quote Mahatma Gandhi himself, Harijan, 6 July 1947, page number 221. He wrote a postscript to Satish Kalelkar's article and said, as the originator of the first design, the three stripes were to represent all communities, and Charka was the symbol of non-violence. See, our flag evolved from it. Please understand. See, basically, that's the core idea of India. Whether we are Hindu, Muslim, or Christian, we need to come together. You can have a secularist viewpoint to it, you can have a pluralist viewpoint to it. Whichever viewpoint, the symbolism is extremely important. Second point, I believe people like Tushar Gandhi ji should be telling us, fly your flag. And the best thing, I'm very close to RSS, but at the same point of time, for nearly 50 years, Sangh had inhibitions because they were having the saffron dhwaj, or the saffron dhwaj as the core. If Mohan Bhagavat ji and Modi ji is coming more and more to the Gandhian line, saying that Gandhi ji is the ideal Hindu we should have, Sarsang Chalak on record said Gandhi ji is the official, the Qatar Hindu we should have. If they are coming to a center right or a centrist line, please do welcome and appreciate them, fly it more and more. And Gandhiji, interestingly, in Harijan, said many people criticize that Congress flag was added as the national flag. And Gandhiji said, see, Congress was more of a movement. See, at the end of the day, Modi ji is telling us to wave the Congress flag at the end of the day. Please own it up and please don't vacate that space. I really like Modi ji, I vote for him. But at the same point of time, Congress as a movement, everyone is attached to, respect to, because we have learning about Congress. Please don't become this over liberal and abdicate the patriotic space. You may never be able to get it back.
Tushar, I'll bring you in. I mean, the Mahatma is being quoted extensively, and of course, there are two very differing perspectives of even the place of religion in society between Gandhi and Nehru. And in some ways, those differences are being ferociously debated even in the India of 2022. The flag is but a part of that larger debate. Let's bring you in, Tushar.
No, I just wanted to say to General Katoch, I don't mind the criticism. I'm not complaining about the criticism, but this trend has become more and more rabid and vicious, not only on social media, it also is in society, and people less fortunate have had to face the consequences. The other thing is this whole thing. I always remember that I was never ever on every Independence Day and Republic Day, and not because we are celebrities, but I remember every housing society, every house would have a flag. Nobody came and told them this is in violation of the flag code. The flag code case was for everybody to fly the flag whenever they wished. It is not just on some occasions. Nobody came and stopped you that you're a commoner, you can't hoist the flag on Independence Day or Republic Day.
Yeah.
I personally have gone to more juggi jhopdi bastis to do flag hoistings in Mumbai than I've gone to middle class and upper middle class and posh housing societies in Mumbai. They've always had flags, so it's not as if suddenly the poor and the disenfranchised and the ignored lot have been empowered to do that. This is what is the dangerous part, that suddenly Mr. Modi becomes the messiah of the tricolor flag also. The
Okay, let me bring
tricolor
it.
flag
Yeah.
has been our symbol. And please, Mr. Easwar, don't keep calling it the Congress flag. It is not the Congress flag. It is the flag of my nation. It's the national flag. You are insulting it by making it into a party flag. I will
Okay.
never fly a party flag on my house.
Yes, I'll let Rahul respond to that. But money, you spoke about growing up at a certain time. I grew up in Delhi, and my earliest memories as a child is being taken for an ice cream after dinner to India Gate, where you would have these fluttering flags, especially at the time of 26th January or Independence Day. It was such a big part of that outing, of that sense of collective belonging, right? And many things can belong to the domain of politics, but what exactly is the fight here? I'm not very clear about the argument. Yes, no party owns the flag. The BJP certainly doesn't. The Congress certainly doesn't. Nobody owns the flag. The nation owns the flag. So, what is your discomfort here, Mani?
Well, simply because it has been turned into an event, and as Tushar was also saying that, well, already there are online lynch mobs which are actually identifying handles as and saying that, well, these are not, they are not, they don't have the DP yet of the national flag, and you can very well imagine what it can happen in a real life situation where the entire, for instance, the mohalla in Delhi is unfurling the flag, and then there are two households there which are not, and then they are immediately identified, which is what has been happening in this era of lynch mobs. And we have also been very touchy about our national symbols. The state was monopolizing it earlier. Now it has come down, it has devolved in some ways, and the people have started owning it, but the state is still trying to control its use. So it is also an expression of that when the prime minister is telling you, well, you need to fly the
But it is a symbol of the state. Let me just push back a little bit on that argument.
Yeah.
The flag is a symbol of the nation, but it's also a symbol of the Indian state. I mean, you know what I mean? It is a state symbol.
It is,
So,
no doubt about that. But it has also evolved over a period of time. And the state was telling us 10 years back, well, now it's okay to fly the flag. So you cannot really devolve it and then start taking exclusive ownership of it again. So it's always, once you start a process, you cannot really undo it. But yes, the overbearing nature of the state was always there, and it has only grown more ominous with time. General Katoch was giving the example of the United States. In the United States, you can also burn the flag and get away without any consequences. In India, you can't even imagine that. In fact, what we have done in India is there was earlier the term insult, which was used specifically. So you can be penalized if you insult the national flag. That has been changed to disrespect. Now it has become ambiguous. So you can disrespect the flag in so many ways, and there are no clear terms. So
okay.
if somebody is not raising the flag, then the charge can be made that, well, you have disrespected the
Rahul,
sentiment.
Rahul, let me bring you in on that. On the fact that patriotism comes from somewhere inside your heart. It comes from your relationship with your state, and that no one should be judgmental of somebody else's relationship as a citizen with their nation. You would say what?
But Barkhaji, 2 points. One, see, I have not changed my DP, neither in Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or anything. I have not changed my DP. Second, what I did was, I in my house, with the help of the painters, we painted a 140 square feet Indian flag with Gandhiji on the center of it. And I'll be displaying it on August 15th. I was thinking we can have our own innovative measures. But the larger point is there is an ideological debate, a tug of war going on between secular, progressive, humanistic on one side, patriotic, pluralistic, nationalistic, whichever you want to call, on the other side. There is a tug of war going. Classic between the positions of Sardar Patel or Nehruji on one side and Sardar Patel
And
on
I
the
mean,
other side.
I would say there are many categories in between that spectrum that
There
you've
are,
just
there are,
defined.
absolutely,
But
yes,
go
there are.
ahead. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And the best category is always the Gandhian. You can be a center left or a center right. For example, Mahatma Gandhi, during the Somanath temple debate, he said we should rejuvenate the temple, but disagreed with Munshiji and Patelji, saying that we should not take it from the state exchequer. No, if you want, I can help you fund it. We can gather steam. So there is always a center left and center right position. But the danger Congress is only going to take a liberal or hard liberal kind of a position. Then majority of Indians are patriotic and pluralistic. I wouldn't use the word nationalistic and secular because it's again a debatable one. Majority of Indians
Those have become political constructs,
political words. So majority
nationalistic
of
and
Indians are
secular. Yeah.
patriotic and pluralist beyond community. So it is up to them that their mind share is being intertwined well. And Modi ji, being a master stroke player of his own, he knows the pulse of the nation. So he will always say, let us do it. And unfortunately, there is nobody matching from the other side who can do it.
Okay,
That's the
General
reality.
Katoch. Okay, that's a political debate and a subject for a different program. But on this, General Katoch, the argument by the critics is that politics has been mixed by the government, by associate. As you heard Tushar saying, that the Prime Minister presenting himself now as the messiah of the flag. I'll give you the last word.
Well, let me put it this way. Today, because I follow the news on a very regular basis. The AAP party, Mr. Kejriwal, has appropriated the flag. He's very clearly saying, he says, please hoist the flag with me on the 14th August and sing the national anthem. Come on, everybody can do it.
Yeah.
Don't fight over don't say don't do it. Say, I will also do it. I will do it my way. The flag is something very, today we won 2 of these badminton matches, when the flag went up, I stood up. It just gives you that feeling, oh my God, my country has won. It is symbolic. The flag is a symbol. It symbolizes our spirit. It symbolizes the spirit of a rejuvenated India. In fact, Barkha, I hope you write an article on this, on the Commonwealth Games, the rejuvenation which has taken place in our youth. And every time that flag goes up, that rejuvenation is there. I mean, I'm surprised when I hear, the Chowkidar and the guard and the maid and everybody talking about the Commonwealth Games and the medals we have won, because the flag has gone up. It is important. Let's all get together on this. That's the way I've seen it.
It's actually a great example, because I've seen athletes actually well up with tears, right? It's not just their personal achievement, it is winning for the country. Tushar, and then, we're seeing Arvind Kejriwal there making the announcement that General Katoch was referencing. Arvind Kejriwal also has a Desh Bhakti course in the school curriculum. So this isn't just the BJP. This is now other parties as well. I was going to close. Tushar, did you want to come in? The Commonwealth Games is a great example. Those athletes break down in tears when they get to sort of that flag goes up and the anthem plays.
Barkha, 2 days after our Independence Day or Republic Day, when I see the tricolor symbols, paper flags and plastic flags littering the streets, I tear up also, because that hurts me more than somebody not flying the flag on their home or not wearing the flag on their sleeve. But because we were discussing about politicization of the flag, this Har Ghar Tiranga is not about patriotism. It is politicizing the flag. It is a political party trying to snatch advantage for itself by using the flag as a tool. So please accept that also.
Well, sir, so fly higher and inspire us. So please fly higher and inspire us. It is there for everyone.
I was going to say that the bottom line, according to me, is that the flag, parties may seek to co-opt it, one or the other. There may be competitive nationalism, but it is the citizens' right to fly the flag. Please note, I didn't say duty, but there are also those who die for that flag. There are those who compete and devote their lives to that flag, and the flag belongs to us all. So if really even the cynics believe that there is a political appropriation going on here, the easiest way to counter it is actually to own the flag, because it belongs to India. Leaving it there, General Katoch, Tushar Gandhi, Rahul, Easwar, and Mani Sharma, thank you so much. And to our audience, see you soon. Thanks for watching. It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.